Is it me?
Come on, Joe, let's start this shit. I'm just saying, it's 7 o'clock, and you're just sitting there talking about beards.
Hello, Internet. I'm Joe.
I'm Eric.
And BlizzCon!
Oh, and you're listening to Just Cool Enough, and goddammit, I could be watching Godzilla right now from Netflix, but no, I had to do this fucking... I was ready to do
New Godzilla or old Godzilla?
It's the new one. It just when I saw it, and I want to watch it because I saw it in theaters and I liked it, but I'm not sure if I'm going to like it on the second viewing because a lot of people didn't, and I understand why they didn't like it. But I think I really liked it, or at least I liked it a bit. But I'm not sure. I mean, the ending is so great, but it is like there's not enough fucking Godzilla in the movie. But I don't know if I'm going to like it on second viewing, so I'm really interested to see it again. But then I was like, oh shit, I got a show in 20 minutes. Fuck.
And then your mom gave you the casserole, and yeah.
No, I have to get the pressure cooker because it's up high, and my mom's not tall enough. So
why do you store things that are out of reach? Like, if you need to use them, why would you store it out of reach?
Eric needs to earn his rent somehow, and
Yeah.
if you put everything on the level where she could reach it, then Eric, there would be no point in having him in the house.
That is literally the only reason why I've never been kicked out is because when we go grocery shopping, my mom needs things from the top shelf sometimes. Like sometimes we'll walk and other moms will need me to grab things. Like I'm just that I'm tall enough. I'm grab things off the top shelf tall. So
I didn't know that was like. I mean, there's something you could add to your resume, dude. There you go. You're all set. Don't worry about it.
Job skills. Can reach tall things.
I can reach large objects. They can't be that heavy, though. Don't make them too heavy, but as long as they're high up, I can get them. Basically anything, 20 pounds or less, I'm going to be able to do. If it's more than that, I might struggle a little.
Eric, you could almost say that you are kind of like the spell Mage Hand from Dungeons and Dragons. That you can lift light objects.
yeah, I'm like. I can mage hand or levitate or something like that. There's some crazy. I was looking at the spells that the bard gets at second level, and I was reading them, and I was like, so fucking cool. Like there's one I didn't pick, but I might change my mind and pick that lets me basically create an object that's like of magical thing, and the person I created is the only one who could see it, and they are convinced it exists, whatever it is, even though it does. Like I can create a bridge, and like the guy he's convinced it's a real bridge, so he will walk across it, and even if he falls through it, he's so convinced that this bridge exists that he will just assume that somebody must have pushed him off or something, like a gust of wind knocked him down, like because it couldn't be that the bridge doesn't exist because he's convinced it does. And if it does damage to him, it does psychic damage. So it actually does, like, he damages his own psyche. And I'm like, that is awesome. I want that spell.
So Joe, when are you going to join our D&D game?
I refuse.
Why?
Mondays are a really big day for me, and that's when you guys play, right?
Monday evenings.
Yeah, really big evening for me. It's just like,
What is it
I
you
get
do
home, I have to clip my toenails, and then, like, the cat's here.
Real Housewives of Atlanta, and the spin-off of Real Housewives of New York, and then
got some anime to watch,
And then you got to watch Vanderpump Rules, which is another reality show. No, it's all reality show with you. It's on anything that's on Bravo.
I haven't watched a reality show in a long time, but I have caught the tail end of like. What is it? The Gordon Ramsay shows? MasterChef or something. It's like
he does
40 million home cooks. They're shitty cooks, but then they're gonna be on TV now. You'll love them. And then like last year, like a blind lady won the fucking cooking competition, and then like that was a spoiler. And then spoiler alert, I'm gonna tell you who wins the next one. Somebody who didn't deserve it, because like I watched the last episode. I'm like, that other dish is clearly better. Like nobody would have ever picked that. And I know because I studied this with the two people that were watching it, and I was like, what one did you pick? They're like, the other guy. I'm like, I know, right? So we all agree that the show's rigged. But the other person had a better personality, so you could sell it. Anyway, Gordon Ramsay taught me how to make a steak. I
mean, we know now what Joe watches reality television show-wise, but how about you, Ike? Because is there any, like, crazy, like, what is your like, reality television thing? Like, everybody gets, like, one, probably.
Well, a lot of the reality TV I watch because my girlfriend has it on in the background while I'm playing like Hearthstone. So I have a lot of like Say Yes to the Dress and 19 Kids and Counting. The only one that I actually have started to get hooked on as my guilty pleasure though has been Super Nanny. Because I'm like, I could figure out how I could use this in my classroom, and I hope that I don't have kids someday, because they scare me. Frankly, all those parents are like, I'm never going to be a good parent. And people are like, no, it comes naturally. You'll totally get it. And then this whole show, all they've been doing is playing like 24-hour marathon over the last 3 weeks, where you're like, no, there's a lot of people out there who really could say, I'm never going to be a good parent, and just can't do it. And I hope I'm not one of them. So if I just don't have kids, it works.
I remember this is really controversial. Eric, hold on. Let's ask you the question. Do you watch any reality TV?
The only one I actively watch because it doesn't quite. It's not the quite because it's a reality competition show. But I love Face Off, which is a show on Sci-Fi
where you want your face off.
No, it's basically special effects, makeups, and monsters.
Oh yeah, actually,
every
I want
week.
to watch that.
It's so good. There's so many. There's like 5 seasons now. It's so fucking good. I keep watching it because it's amazing. It's just these artists design incredibly complex monster makeups in like 3 days, and it's barely enough time to do anything good, but they happen to do fucking amazing things most of the time, and it's really awesome. But the only thing that like was kind of a guilty pleasure that it wasn't mine, it was a friend of mine I watched with her, but Teen Mom 3. If you haven't watched it, I was like, let's watch this. I was like, yeah, fucking whatever. But it's actually kind of entertaining, just how funny that show is. Like, I haven't watched the other Teen Moms, but Teen Mom 3 especially is really good. Like, there's this whole thing where like this girl's like baby daddy doesn't like spend time, so she like plots to like leave him with the baby for an hour, and like they go like around the block, you know, just to show him that he can't take. And literally, like, he's just like, he has no idea what to do with the baby, and he's like, and then like he like lays the baby down, and the baby like burps, and it's just this like white like the
baby spittle throw up kind of thing.
It just like throws up. It's like lying on its back, and it throws up, and it's just like and it's just like he's freaking out, and it's hilarious. Like,
that's a disgusting guilty pleasure.
And her sister is like, hey, I was pregnant too, but then I got a abortion.
I had to go across the Pacific Ocean to get it, but I did it. I got the abortion, and then after that we had some Puskitty.
Yeah, Puskitty. But it is kind of silly. I only watched a couple episodes, and I'm.
It sounds like you have these etched into your brain though.
Because it was hilarious. Because I expected to hate every moment of it, and I was enthralled by it. I understand. It opened my eyes to the fact that it's like, I understand why other people watch this, because it's just fun to watch people who are horrible or shitty and feel better about yourself. I get it.
Well, that's what Facebook's for. You just log on to Facebook, and then you're like, oh, all these people suck. I'm so great, and then you log off. That's what you do.
I don't know if I complained about it last week, but I totally want to complain about it since you brought up Facebook and see what other people post and all that crap. Okay. But I feel like nobody fucking fact checks on Facebook. I understand that most of the internet's like, what the hell's a fact check? But like, I get the weirdest and like stupidest shit posted on my Facebook. I started to unfollow people, like their family, so I won't like defriend them. But I started unfollowing them because like Ebola has come out in Rhode Island, or CDC admits Ebola's gone airborne. But if you do just a little bit of research, you realize that no, the CDC said it could be airborne, but more than likely will never become airborne. But people are like, oh my god, I gotta post this thing where they said that this is going on. I'm like, you're an idiot.
Yeah, that's. I mean, one of the people in my sketch group was always complaining about like this one person she doesn't like on Facebook. I'm like, she's like, I can't fucking unfriend her because I was like, literally unfollow. It's the greatest thing. It's you click their name, you click unfollow, and you're still technically friends, but you never see anything. Yeah, it's like I do it all the time. I do it with like listeners that add me if they post a lot, or I just don't give a shit. Like I just like no, don't care who's this, don't care, unfollow. It's like, yeah, we'll be friends. I don't care, but I'm not gonna give a shit about all your shit. I will only unfollow people if they like constantly are in. It's like come see my band play in Wisconsin. I was like, what? Stop doing the mass invites. Like just invite. You can invite just
right.
people
It's like
from fucking Wisconsin.
Going to be in fucking Wisconsin. Like, did you get one of those Wisconsin?
I've gotten stuff like not like that, but like sometimes like somebody who I don't even know if they still listen. They probably like friended me years ago when they listened to WoW Radio or some shit. But they'll like invite. They constantly invite. Like my Facebook page for my fucking thing that I don't know what, like my gaming personality. It's like, and they will constantly keep inviting me to like their Facebook page. I'm like, no, fuck you. I'm tired of. I don't want to like your thingy. You know.
So I've been curating my Facebook feed like crazy. By unfollowing people, but not just unfollowing people, but defriending them. And I've been going through a kind of ongoing friendicide since, I don't know, for a while now. My Facebook feed's cleaned up quite a bit, and it's actually pretty usable now. And,
yeah.
But you know, I go through Facebook, and I can only take so much though, because I mean, I feel so good about myself after I get done reading some of these posts. At least that's how it used to be. But now I just scroll down the Facebook feed, and I've curated my Facebook feed so well that now when I go to Reddit, it's almost the same thing that's on my Facebook feed. So, because I subscribe to the same subreddits, and I liked and disliked things that were on my Facebook feed. So it's kind of weird the way, like, I see a lot of cross posts between my Reddit and subreddits that I follow and onto my Facebook, and vice versa, and it's kind of weird. I don't know if it'll ever take over, but I've curated it so well that now it's kind of scary. So, beware.
I can see that, because I curated mine, so it's basically just people I know from improv and sketch, and friends, the actual real life friends. So most of the shit is just like things about improv shows around town, or some sketch group I like posted a new sketch on YouTube, or Funny or Die, and that's about all that's on my Facebook page, you know. But subreddit-wise, like the only subreddit I really actively follow is D&D Next and /D&D, so they're different. But yeah, I can see that. Like I've curated mine to be like video game shit and UCB community stuff.
Holy shit, apparently I have 725 Facebook friends. I'm going to go through right now and just start slicing them off.
I could probably have a lot more, but I'm super, like, I don't know what it is. Like, I'm super, like, the same way I am with, like, fucking calling people. I just feel, like, really weird, like, adding people on Facebook. Like, the level of knowledge of a person, like how well you have to know a person to add them on Facebook, is so minuscule. But I always feel like, yeah, we've had 2 classes together and we were on an improv team for a month, but are we Facebook friends yet? Maybe I shouldn't add that.
Right.
Whereas like people are like, oh, I met this guy yesterday, I'll add him, and I have no problem adding anyone who adds me, but then I have a hard time, like, it's like, yeah, I know everybody in class is adding each other on Facebook, but maybe it'd be weird if I added this one person. It wouldn't be, but for some reason I won't.
Yeah, see, like, I need to start I'm going through my list, and I'm a good way down, and I still am like, no, I like all these people. I'm friends with all these people. I care about their lives enough, but I never get their posts anymore. It's all about like jalopnik.com and like my feed has been taken over by all the news things that I've liked, so I've had to unlike a lot of those. But like, there's a listener named Jake K, right? And it's like, I don't know who Jake K is. He's only friends with Ike and Eric. But I wouldn't want to unfollow him, but I do want to. Or no, I wouldn't want to unfriend him, but I do want to unfollow him. But he doesn't post enough to bother me, you know? I want to keep him on.
I don't, like, I'm not, like, anytime I see someone I don't know personally, unfollow. But, like, if they post a lot, like, I'm like, no, I don't care, like, whoever this is, about their own personal things.
I'm going to start at the bottom of my list right here, because it'll just keep loading and loading.
Yeah, because you just go through and you're like, even people who I know in real life, I'm just like, I don't care. Well, she's a cute girl, so I'll stay.
What about, so wait, Ike, do you use any subreddits?
No, I've never been on Reddit because I hear it's a terrible place where you can get lost and never come out again.
I find it actually pretty cool. Like, there's some good communities on there. What the fuck is that? Now there's bugs in here. There's dogs fighting. Now there's bugs in my house. What the shit is going on around here?
It seems like it's very close to Reddit and what's the pedo bear one there? I've never been
4chan?
to. Yeah, I feel like they're just it's like the classier version of 4chan.
I would say that yeah, because the thing about Reddit is that a lot of it is like the different subreddits are usually community generated, whereas 4chan only has the boards that 4chan makes, and occasionally they'll make new ones, but they only have those, and those are decided, and they have moderators, and it's a, but so it's about like creating threads, and it's different. Like 4chan is a horrible place. I'm there daily. Like I started like I actually. More than I browse the D&D Next on Reddit, I browse traditional gaming on 4chan because I'm a terrible human being. Like, it's one of those places, and I've said this before, I think, it's like it is the worst place on the internet, but once you start going there, you can't come back from it. Like it's like war. Like, it changes you. It changes something like deep in your soul. Your soul comes out twisted, and some reason you're just okay with going there on a daily basis now.
Do you guys know anybody named Katie Jones? Anybody?
I don't know. Is she friended us?
Deleted. All right, next. I'm going through. This is it. I'm going total friend aside. I'm going to try to pare down my list to only.
I do know a Katie Jones, but she's not friends with you, and she's friends with somebody from Los Angeles.
Well, not anymore, because I just unfriended her.
I think it's a different Katie Jones because.
What about Rebecca Black? Do you know her? Unfriend.
I don't know. I know.
I see what you did there.
What? I didn't do anything.
Rebecca Black.
Oh no! Apparently I friended her, and now she's unfriended.
Why? But you have to collect friends. So you.
It's like friends. Pokemons.
Yeah.
Gotta friend them all. I don't know. I mean, like, I'm just so over Facebook nowadays. It's just like, I don't. I mean, like, I go there, but only as a feeling of obligation because that's where like my whole like all the elders of my family are. So that's how communication gets done. Like, I didn't even know it was my grandpa's birthday. This is terrible to say. I didn't even know it was my grandpa's birthday. And until like I looked at Facebook and they're like, "All right, Grandpa's party's on Saturday."
Well, this is awkward because we actually brought your grandma on the show. She's right here.
That's awful. My grandma's dead, you jerk.
No, it was very hard to get her on here.
Oh God.
I haven't had a grandparent in 19 years. What are you bitching about? Well, poor you. You have to go to your grandfather's birthday party. That must be terrible for you. I wish I could go to a grandfather's birthday party. I was 9 the last time I went to a grandfather's.
Back in my day, my grandfather.
My grandfather's died by the time I was 4. It was my last grandmother that made it till I was 10.
What?
Both my grandfathers were dead, and one of my grandmothers was dead.
Why did this turn into that?
We're gonna one up each other. What do you got, Joe?
One of my grandfathers died years before I was born. The other died when I was 5. Both my grandmothers died when I was 10 years old.
Why are you doing
I think my last grandparent died when I was about 9 or 10. Yeah.
It's weird. Do you ever notice like the difference? Like it's one of those things. Like because I grew up basically without grandparents, it's weird. Like when people like have a relationship with their grandparents, they're like, "Oh, you still have them? Like, don't they just go away when you're like 9 or 10?" It's like, no, some of them live much longer than that. You're like, oh, really? It's like it's one of those things. Like I have no. It's like with people with glasses. I have no concept of what that's like to not have good vision because I've always had good vision.
And I will agree with you, especially because my girlfriend's family, her grandmother still like they take care of the grandchildren. Oh, we need daycare. We're gonna send the younger kids over there for a day. I'm like. That's weird. Like, wouldn't you want to live close to your grandparents or close to your parents so they could take care of your kids? And I'm like, well, I expect once my kids are born, I got about 10 years before my parents die. So if I just hold off on having kids, my parents will stay around longer, right? That's how it works.
Yeah, and it's weird too because my family, like both sides of my family, they're just so hard to kill. Like my grandparents, really like the they didn't. They probably could have lived a lot. I mean, my mother's mother lived 15 years with emphysema, and you're only supposed to live 5 tops. Like, we're hardy people. We're hard to kill. She smoked up until the day they put her on an oxygen machine, and then lived 15 years longer. like we're hard to kill, but we certainly give it a fucking try.
Wow.
Yeah, no, I've actually tried to kill you several times, Eric, and it's
not going to happen.
Bring it up because I haven't been able to.
I eat a salad every couple of months, so I'm going to live to like 230. Like most of my family, they smoke, they drink, they eat terribly. They're
but that's why you're going to die young.
They still live to their late 80s.
That's the key. Is you're going to die young because you didn't eat crap.
Yeah, because I eat crap, just not that much crap. Like, I eat processed shit. I just don't eat McDonald's every day. So I'm gonna die at 30. So I got another year. Squeeze all the life I can out of this before I get
up.
I'm gonna lose a bunch of weight. I'm gonna get super in shape and stuff, and everything's gonna be great. And I'm just gonna have an aneurysm at 32.
That's how my grandma died.
Joe didn't die.
No, he had a stroke. That's different.
I didn't really have a stroke. I actually made that up because I didn't want to go to work. No, I'm fucking serious. Everybody thinks I had a
stroke.
Okay, no. Truth time, guys. I didn't actually have a stroke. I went to the hospital. They wouldn't let me out until they put something on the record. And they were like, you might have had one of these. Like, I went to, like, a new doctor. He sucked. And even the pharmacist was like, you didn't have a stroke. And I worked in a pharmacy at the time. They're like, all right, tell us what happened. I was like, I just was feeling funny. They're like, you didn't have a fucking stroke. You didn't want to come to work. I'm like, yeah. It was fucking shitty-ass pharmacy work.
So I don't think we can be friends, Joe. You lied to us all this time. I've been living in a dream world.
No, I've been trying to dispel this myth for a long time, actually, because it was written down that I had a blah 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 ischemic attack, right? And but it was just like shitty paperwork that made that happen, and
But they meant to write is Joe had a Coke, but somehow it got all fudged up and the ink smeared, so it looked like stroke. And
I don't know. I don't even know what happened, but no, I mean, like, I figure I'm gonna die suddenly and quickly, but I don't think it'll be a stroke. I think it's gonna be something stupid. Like, I've been taking my car out on racetracks, and it's probably gonna be like a tire's gonna blow, and then I'm gonna like fly through the convertible top into like some trees and getting just like torn apart by buzzard birds or something. What are those birds that?
Irony will be when you really do die from a stroke.
Well, you know what? It serves me right then for lying about it. Fucking idiot, Joe, you dumbass. Lying all these years to all these people that care about you.
It's not a stroke. And then you just fall over.
If I had a stroke, I'd be like, ain't that a bitch? That's what I would say.
You're going to be driving around and, like, you're going to be doing a figure 8 derby. You're going to not wear your seatbelt. You're going to crash through your window, fly through the air, and then land in a tree perfectly fine. You're like, wow, there's not a scratch on me. And then, like, a fire ant is going to bite you, and you're going to have an extreme allergic reaction. And that's that's where you find out you're allergic to bees. Like, you've never had any situation with a bee in your life, and then suddenly bee, and then
yeah, that would be my. You know what though? If that's how it happens, I would be happy for it. You know, you can't really. I hope at least the way I go is ironic. At least, I just want it to be ironic.
Jokes on coffee. What killed Joe? Joe.
He's like Hemingway. The only thing that could kill Ernest Hemingway was Ernest Hemingway.
Exactly. That's like me. Or
it's funny because he was extremely depressed and put a gun in his mouth.
Whatever. He also lived in islands and went to France and stuff. He had a good life.
He also didn't fight in World War II, but assisted. He was like a merchant marine or some shit. He lived a hardcore life.
Did.
Wrote a interesting short story about abortion. I've always wanted to read more of Hemingway.
He doesn't write interesting short stories about abortion.
Yeah. I always planned to read The Sun Also Rises, but I've never gotten around to it.
You know, I always thought Vincent Van Gogh was a lot older. Like, I thought he was like 16th or 17th. Maybe I think he was 17th century. But like he died in like the late 1980s. Or 18.
No, he did not. He wasn't born in the 1700s and died in the late 80s.
Shut up.
It's weird. Like I always thought he was older, but he only lived to 338.
He died on July 29th.
If he lived 300 years, the fact that he was a painter wouldn't be what we remembered him for.
Yeah, so I didn't think
Vincent Van Gogh, the guy who painted that thing, got his ear cut off in a bar fight. No, I don't know. Oh, you mean that guy that was basically a Highlander? Oh, okay.
He's like Yoda. He's like the size of a raisin, but he's 300 years old and he still doesn't have his fucking ear. So no, 1890s. I had no idea. I always was under the impression that he was a much older, person.
Leonardo, Michelangelo, and Vincent Van Gogh all hung out together in your
Yeah, Leonardo DiCaprio and Vincent Van Gogh were exchanging scripts and talking about their inventions.
Well, it is
what did Van Gogh invent?
Depression and alcoholism. There's that thing though about history. The further back it is, the harder the timelines are to because you think well, these people are from long ago, so they must have been the same time. It's no, they were hundreds of years apart, but it's all way the fuck back then, so it's hard to reconcile.
Well, don't you remember being a kid, right? And you're just you have no concept of time, right? Or money for that matter, but mostly time. And so you could be really rude to somebody, be like, "Mom, do you remember World War I?" And then she's like, "Ah, that's a burn." But you're just "No, I have a stupid dumb brain. I don't know these things yet. I don't understand the age, and I don't even understand death." But
My teacher's old. She's so old. She's 23,
Yeah, exactly. It's oh man, she's so hot and old. I like her so much. Whatever her name was, I forgot. I guess I didn't like her that much. But I don't know. I can remember thinking people were hundreds of years old. I'm man, that guy must be 100, but really he was 60, still walking around just fine, driving around in his old Cadillac.
What is the weirdest thing you can remember actually believing as a child? Because I remember I was in elementary school and I believed that two women could get each other pregnant. I was well, two men can't because neither of them have vaginas. So, but two women have vaginas, so clearly lesbians can have children. I just assumed that was a thing, having no concept of how sex worked. I was 6 or 7. No, I was probably 8 or 9. But
you still have no idea how sex works.
Yeah. Stop doing that. What the fuck is wrong?
I was muting myself because I was yelling so loud. I didn't want to take up the whole show. Your voice needs to get in there.
It's about time I got to say something in this show.
I think one of the weirdest things was I didn't even realize the fact that, there were two sexes. I'm whatever, girls are the same as guys, they just have boobs. And
hey, Joe, they are the same. They're not so different after all. They're just people. Man.
Now I'm a sexist asshole because I said that. Local Michigan man.
Michigan man with nothing interesting about him.
Says sexist thing on accident. Next up, two dogs get into a fight. I don't know. I thought kissing got you pregnant for the longest time. So I didn't even know. I had no concept of that a girl and a guy can like each other, like each other. So Eric, you're very progressive. Do you have anything like that?
I think I was too naive. I didn't really know much about it till like 8th grade. So about sex, and like now I'm trying to think back, and I even like look at some of the kids that are at the school. I'm like, how? You have 2 different bathrooms. How did I not know this sooner? Like, what took me so long?
That's because you lived in a sheltered, super conservative household, and also didn't find your dad's hentai magazines when you were in the 3rd grade.
All girls have tentacles, and all girls love to get cum on their face in subways. That's what's cool. That's what's cool about the other sex.
I went from having no concept of what sex was to
having all the concepts.
Yeah, to going, well, yeah, clearly these large-breasted blonde women are going to get triple penetrated by a demon goat.
Yeah, demon goat fox. The fox is actually like the part of the penis of the demon goat. It's disgusting. I remember that one.
I think I brought it up, the Cherry Pop-Tart comics. That was the thing. That was my introduction in 3rd grade, finding those and being like, oh, these are a thing.
I gotta look at this. Yeah. Maybe I'm still not ready for it.
No, you're probably not
ready for this. What? This isn't real. You did bring this up before.
Yeah, it's totally real.
Wow, I thought you made this up.
No. That was my introduction into sex.
Why would you like? Well, I mean, like this is kind of this is like a kid style introduction to it.
Yeah, it is. Honestly, it was kind of.
By the way, if you're searching this, don't search it at work. It is not safe for work.
Oh no, but it's these comic books that are kind of like cartoony drawn. That where women and men have sex, and occasionally demons and tentacles and stuff like that. But it is like that. It's almost educational, except it's extremely pornographic.
It's almost educational. I didn't even want to even when they were like it's sex ed time. I'm like, no, fuck that. I don't even want to know about it. Like this is 6th grade. It's just way too soon. I don't feel like caring about this stuff.
You put what and where and do what now? How's that at all?
That sounds disgusting. What's women?
Did they even talk about that?
Women, let alone put things in women.
I remember some of like 6th grade sex ed stuff, and they never like once explained the actual act of sex and how that worked. I don't think they ever actually brought that. They talked about puberty a lot and stuff, and how sex is terrible, and if you think about sex, you immediately get herpes and all that stuff that they teach kids these days. But they never once even explained the act of sex, I don't think.
Well, I did explain to you guys when I taught sex ed 2 years ago, right?
Yeah, no, I'm saying I didn't know till 2 years ago. I'm saying in 6th grade they never brought it up once.
Yeah, but I was teaching it in 5th grade 2 years ago.
Yeah.
When it all went wrong.
Oh. Yeah, because I know. Did they when they taught it to you? Did they even explain that part? Because I don't even think they did for us.
I probably wasn't listening after they're like, you want to put the dick in the penis? I'm like, God, fuck this, I'm tuning it out.
Yeah. Because I don't think they covered any of that. I lived in a very conservative area, but I remember we watched a video about puberty and how girls sometimes your tits are going to be different sizes, but that's okay. And boys sometimes you jizz in your pants while you're sleeping, but they didn't actually cover sex.
For sex ed, they actually separated the boys and the girls.
Yeah.
Not in public school though, but I had sex ed in catechism.
Oh
Catholic,
God!
Like upbringing school, and that I talked my mom out of having me go to the sex ed in the catechism. I went to one class of that, and I was like, oh man, that is not. I do not want some lady telling me about this that I don't trust her to begin with. Because when catechism, you go to school. Like it's like second school, right? It's like going to I imagine it'd be like going to your stepmom's house, but it's like you don't really like her, but you got to spend time with her because it's her weekend. And so, like that's like kind of what catechism is. Like it's like you have your normal school that you go to and you learn about like actual things, and then you would go to catechism and it's like, all right, now it's time for Jesus to teach you stuff.
Yeah, now it's time to sit into a classroom and hear about Jesus and do this weird maze where you're Jesus trying to escape hell or something. I remember a bit of catechism, and it was just I didn't enjoy it.
Dude, I was like the king. Like all the teachers loved me there. I even like when they would like demo, they're like, "All right, it's time to learn how to do this sacrament." They'd be like, "Joe, get up here. You're gonna demo in front of 350 kids." I'm like, "All right." And I've never done it. Like I was like Catholic all-star. I was in choir. I mean,
the real reason why they like Joe is because they could touch him and he wouldn't say anything to anyone.
See, this is I think my catechism was different because I think mine was just to prepare you for your first communion because that's all I remember really working on.
Well, you don't.
Like, there was other stuff, but we didn't do like sacraments and all that stuff. I think it was a night class on like once a week, so I think it was different.
Your step teacher.
Yeah, it was. You know, we had a neighbor that, like me and one of the neighbor girls who I had a crush on would go, and we would learn about getting our first communion.
So,
I never did
like,
that.
It goes up to the 2nd grade, and that's when you get your first communion, and then I think it goes all the way up to like 8th grade or 9th grade, maybe.
Yeah, I guess like I remember there was Sunday school, but I didn't do it, and it was just like you had to do a bit of it in order to get your first communion at the church, and that's like, and then once I had my first communion, I didn't go anymore because there wasn't any, so it was just like a prep thing for your first communion for me.
So what I used to do, because Sunday school was on Sundays, but it was during the church mass, right? Mm. And luckily, my mom and dad had another child. So as I was aging out of Sunday school, I'm 11 or 10 years older than my youngest brother, Mikey. As I was aging out, so I'm like 14, Mikey was 4. But Mikey wouldn't go to Sunday school unless I or my brother would go. But my brother wouldn't want to sit in the mass alone, you know, without anybody. So we would all go, and I got to go to Sunday school all the way through, like, I don't know, till I was like 16 or so, and my dad's like, "You just can't go to Sunday school, Joe." I'm like, "Yeah, but the church thing," like, I didn't kind of, and I always thought, this is real talk. I always thought that like going to church, it's like, oh yeah, we just do this because like grandma and grandpa, and you know, it's really important to mom. And then like I come out and I'm like, yeah, I'm not really one of the God people. And then my dad gets all mad at me. I'm like, what are you talking about? I've heard the things you said. How are you one of these people? I don't get it. Like what is this?
Son of a bitch! God damn it!
I know, right? And how am I supposed to know that? Anyway. What I'm trying to say here is Sunday school. It was a godsend. That's all. Yes. Goodness.
I went to Sunday school for a while. My dad's like, I'm not going to church anymore. My mom's like, I guess can't make you go, so I guess we'll just stay at home. And I was like, thank God.
Praise Jesus. Preach, Dad. So like. That's just, I don't know, weird times. I'm really glad that the catechism thing that I did go to that though, because eventually once we realized like all the kids were going there against their will, we all kind of broke off and did our own thing, and then the class, the teacher's like, "You better sit down right now," and we're like, You're not even our real teacher. Like, you have no power over us. And even, like, when they would send us to the office, and I got sent to the office in catechism, and they're like, "Joe," this is when I went through my rebellious phase in 8th and 9th grade. They're like, "Joe, what are you doing? You're a good kid." I'm like, "Yeah, I know. I just don't want to be here." Oh, Eric dropped off. No wonder we've had so much airtime, Mike.
The closest I've ever come to catechism is that World of Warcraft expansion.
Cataclysm?
Yeah. I mean, it's
kept
the same thing.
I could remember almost calling it catechism every time I wanted to say cataclysm.
So yeah, you played that new World of Warcraft expansion, Cataclysm? Yeah.
Cataclysm. What does that even mean? I don't even know.
Paladins. There's a lot of paladins in that one.
I don't know. I did like playing the Pally though.
Everyone's playing priests.
Have you ever played the game Ping-a-Pong?
No.
Or table tennis, as they say.
I've beer pong.
Well, that's similar.
Or there's ping pong. Ping pong? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, no, ping pong, or the one with the paddles.
Yeah, I played that.
No, just I played it for the first time today.
Wait, how did you get to this age?
I know, I'm gonna be 28 here soon.
How did you ever do that? I know, it's like, and we didn't get any emails yet. Listeners don't care about you.
Yeah, I know, whatever.
But how did you get to this age and never play ping pong? Where people are like, here's a ping pong table, why don't you come play? You're like, sorry, that's against my religion.
I always, that's what it was. I was always like, you know what? I would rather play, like, if there was a ping pong table, there was either always the option for like a foosball table or a pinball machine, like always at the same time. There's never just a ping pong table laying around.
So we have this ping pong table or this bucket full of razor sharp knives. Yeah, I'm gonna go swimming in the knives. I'm just not feeling
That's how
ping
it
pong.
was. So I never really played ping pong before today, table tennis, and I like picked up the stick and everybody's like, oh wow, Joe, you're picking up the thing for the first time, and I swung it and it just clicked with me. This is my sport. This is what I want to do now for the rest of my life.
Well,
Not really. Actually, I sucked, and the person I played against was like one step from pro and got to go to like China and things like that, and I got my ass kicked. But it was really fun.
They're looking at you and they're like hitting the paddle back.
It was pretty much that bad. I mean, I've never played before. I've played tennis, but man, ping pong. Who would have thought? But I don't know. Those games, those kind of like, I want to build like an arcade for myself. I'm turning into an old man. Like, I don't need to go out. I'll make my own little games. I'm gonna put them in my basement.
Whittle a whole set of ping pong paraphernalia.
Yeah, you get the paddles and. Eric, we're talking about ping pong. I said that I played ping pong for the first time today and got my ass kicked by somebody that was really good. But now I'm turning into an old man because I'm like, I want a ping pong table at home, and a foosball table, and a racquetball or a skee ball, and maybe I'll put them in my basement. We can play around, have some brewskis, watch the game, sports and stuff.
Yeah, I remember, like, in high school, a friend had a pool table, and that was the coolest thing. And then, like when we got older, we're like, somebody's got to get a pool table, man. We got to get one. Like, nobody ever did because they're expensive as shit. But it's like, yeah, we got to get one of those, man. Then we'll be playing pool, which is cool because we'll all be good at it for some reason. We all just assume we will be. Other people might not be, but me, I'm going to be good at pool.
When was the last time you guys played pool? Billiards. Not counting Yahoo Pool.
Oh, then that's even longer ago. Probably high school. It's probably the last time I can recall ever doing it. So it's probably been 10 years.
A month or two ago.
Yeah, do you frequent the billiards halls, Ike?
I used to play a lot. And my friend was really terrible, and I was teaching him how to play. And then I went away to college, and he dropped out of. Well, he never went to college.
He dropped out of pool college?
Yeah, he got into pool college and never had a job, and he got really good at pool.
Oh, wow. So I don't know. Last time I played, it was a kind of a weird circumstance because Sarah actually has a pool. Sarah's dad has a pool table in his basement, and it was like. Sarah invited me over to her mom and dad's house to play pool in their basement, and so that's weird. I'm like, wow, look at this big pool table. It'd be really fun to do on this pool. We actually just played pool the whole time, and then the dad came down and was like, I'll play pool against you, Joe. And I'm like, oh shit, this is when we first started going out. I'm like, and then he showed me his gun collection and stuff. I'm like, don't worry, I'm not a weirdo. But then that was it. I was a weirdo.
Wait, do you say your girlfriend's father showed you his gun collection?
He did. He absolutely
I'm pretty sure that was to send a message, Joe. He wasn't trying to show off. Well, in a way he was. He was like, don't fuck around because I have a gun collection.
I came at it as just like this. I'm just like...
This is the wall where I keep all my guns. This is the wall where I keep all my arrest and also release from prison reports or... beating up young men that try and take out my daughter.
That's
it was an IQ test because if you didn't look like you were scared, It either meant that you weren't for his daughter, or that you were too dumb to understand what he was trying to tell you at the time. And you're just like, yeah, cool, gun collection. He's like, idiot. All right, you're good enough for my daughter. She can defend herself.
I was actually really impressed. He had an impressive collection, but he had a fucking true to life Desert Eagle. I'm like, what the fuck? How did you get a Desert Eagle? Like, that was my first reaction. I wasn't even like scared of it. I'm like, holy shit, that's awesome! Look, can I play with it?
You can just buy a Desert Eagle. They're expensive, but they're not illegal. I mean,
but they're cool as hell, and I've never seen one up close before.
So he gets that in his AWP, and he just goes around doing
carrying it on my chest, just strapped. Like, excuse me, I'm trying to get to the front of the line at 7-Eleven. Get out of my way. I got Slurpees to buy.
Make sure you have your knife out so that you run faster.
Yeah, I cut the wind with the knife, and then hold the gun up for attention. I'm not gonna use this right. That's a good way for other people to shoot you.
No, you have to shoot and then quickly switch to your Desert Eagle and switch back. So that
you can reload faster. Or wait, no, you just move faster that way. Remember, the first shot you take with your Desert Eagle is always gonna go to the. It's gonna go up a little and to the right. So if you just aim down and to the left a little bit, you'll be able to get a headshot every time.
Yep.
You know, Life 1.6. Or it was pre 1.6 days. Those were good days. Oh, actually, I still didn't make a decision on the Destiny thing though. After the show, I'm gonna tear apart my room until I find my Xbox, get it fixed. So actually, I did make a decision. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna treat myself for my birthday. Fix my Xbox 360. I
wouldn't get Destiny. I mean, it's fine. If you're gonna play with Mikey on his 360, fuck it.
You know why I'm doing it. I'm not doing it because I want to buy. I don't want to be a fucking.
You're not gonna. Yeah, you're not gonna be like you're not gonna hate it. It's fine. It's got all this shit that is addictive. And if you're playing online with Mikey on his 360, then yeah, you guys are gonna have a ball. It's not gonna look as good as on the next gen consoles, I'm sure, but it'll be fine.
That's how I feel. But I have a nice computer, and if I ever actually had time to appreciate graphics and things like that, I would be using it to game more. But if I'm playing a game, I just need it to be a social experience. It's the only way I play anymore. Except for like racing games sometimes, because those guys always like fucking run you off the road. Have you guys ever played a racing game online?
Yeah, a lot. I used to back in the original Xbox days. I played a lot of Project Gotham 2 and also Forza 1 and stuff. Yeah, I was a big fan of those.
Man, everybody that I was playing, I think it was Grid or Grid 2. Everybody just fucking. There's no gentleman drivers. Everybody's just running into each other's butts and just fucking flipping people off the road. It's like, get out of my fucking. Even in the Formula 1 game, I was playing F1. Like 2013 or 2014, I think it was F1 2014. Formula 1 is about like keeping a good race line, making your car really wide so people can't pass, but doing it in a gentlemanly fashion. People are fucking immediately at the start of the race is just flipping around their cars and driving the wrong way on the track. I'm like, this isn't race. Like, there's games to play. This is a fucking Twisted Metal. And I'm just.
This is definitely no 1975 season going on right here.
This is like exactly. Like
This isn't. Yeah, you sir are no Hunt or Louder. I tell you. I saw the movie Rush, and then I watched the documentary. So
I can't believe you just quoted two drivers. I was like, what bullshit name is he going to pretend a Formula 1 driver is going to be? But you fucking nailed it.
It's a really compelling story. I mean, it's
it
the kind
really
of story you can't fucking make that shit up. The man was burned to a crisp, and 3 months later climbed into a fucking race car while still bleeding. Still had bandages on, and nearly won the season.
Yeah, that was great. Spoiler alert, just in case. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like you, sir, are no gentleman. As my wing gets blown off of the back of my car because 3 cars hit me at the same time. I'm like, why are you all late braking? There's a whole track here. Can't you? Never mind.
Yeah, I remember I used to do that, and I think it was like the fourth. I'm like, well, I mean, if we're packed in a tight group, I don't really have to hit my brakes. I'll just slam into the guy in front of me, and that'll slow me down enough to take this turn.
Well, that's how you race in single player.
Yeah. Yeah, I trade a lot of paint when I'm racing. I'm not gonna lie, because I'm not a good driver. I'm like, I'll just use. I don't have to turn that well if I use this guy as a turning thing. So. But that's why I liked Forza, because race damage matters. Like, if you fucking slam into the back of some guy, your car's gonna drive fucked up. That's why I didn't like the Gran Turismos, especially the recent ones, because the race damage is meaningless. Like
right. It just looks fucked up.
You can ride 125 miles into a brick wall and it'll scratch your paint a little, but your car will run just fine, which is stupid.
Yeah, but the game's more about the simulation on the streets or on the track itself, you know?
Yeah, well, damage is part about it, especially in Formula One and any serious like long distance races. Like, damage is a big thing. Like, your tires
they're
blow out and shit.
I can't stand the fact that in Gran Turismo all the cars sound like shit compared to Forza.
Yeah.
When you do the games back to back, but like also the tire, like, it's just weird. It's fun to drive in Gran Turismo when you're at the highest level of car. This is just nitpicky. Never mind. I don't want to.
Yeah, but to get there, you have to spend like 37 hours driving a shitty Honda hatchback against supercars and trying desperately to at least get third so you can progress.
See, Forza is really great because it's fun to drive the slow cars, right? But once you get to the really fast cars, the game kind of loses something. Like, there's just too much suspension travel and stuff. But I don't know. It's hard to boil a game down to make a car like fit on this little sticks, you know? It's like we can only do so much. I'm not a programmer for that stuff. That'd be cool. Like, this is like me talking about D&D.
Yeah, but notice I'm not complaining because I can appreciate it.
Yeah. Can you, though?
I learn more by you talking, and I enjoy listening to your voice.
Cloud of Daggers is a really interesting spell. I kind of wanted to pick that up, but again, that was if I'm going more of a spellcasting bard, I would have picked that up, but I'm going more healing utility guy. But with the College of Valor, now I can fight too, so, you know.
Well, the thing, he let me, I accidentally chose a spell in the wrong path. I chose a wizard spell instead of a sorcerer spell, but it was nice enough to let me have it, but then I also realized that really none of my spells actually do anything, so I wonder if he'll let me retcon and get rid of him.
He might. I mean, now you're level 3, you think a lot of things open up. Third level is really when things start to get cool for all the classes.
I haven't looked that far ahead in this PHP. I've just been waiting for Joe to join us since we need more people.
Yeah.
Do you really need more people?
I mean, it couldn't hurt. We could use somebody.
But
I mean,
like, just some level 1 runt just walks in like, "Hey guys, I'm a pimply-faced idiot. I've only played the 2 times we played before."
Yeah, but that doesn't really matter, and you played in the right system that we're playing, and even if he might let you start higher level, but even if you didn't, you'd level up real quick just with the.
It's like old World of Warcraft where you were paired up with a higher level. They kind of drag you through, so you get experience pretty quick.
Yeah. So you'd catch up pretty fast, but.
Why don't I just play World of Warcraft?
Well, the expansion is coming out next month, so.
Yeah, I'm actually playing the patch right now. The one of my friends, he's been on the show before. His girlfriend, he was like getting ready. I shouldn't air his dirty laundry out, but I'm pretty sure he doesn't listen to the show anymore. He told me, and one of our other good friends is, about a month or 2 ago, when we had a LAN party at his house. He's like, I'm thinking about asking my girlfriend to marry me. I'd like you guys to be my best men when it comes around that time. I'm like, yeah, sure, we'd be honored. And so he was kind of joking with her and showed her like a fake ring, but he wasn't joking enough that she knew that he was going to. And so the other day she was like, they got in this really small fight, but she was like, I don't think I'm going to be happy, and I don't think you're going to be happy, so I'm leaving you. And up and left him, even though he had already bought the ring and everything. So he called me the other night, very depressed, and we talked about stuff. But he's like, "Yeah, I think I'm coming back to WoW." I'm like, "Yeah, Is that like the ice cream of breakups when it's that bad? You come back like, yeah, I'm gonna get fat again, just sitting here playing World of Warcraft. But
your girlfriend leaves you, you drop out of class. Just it's that kind of thing. It's like, well, I've got nothing else going in my life, so might as well dedicate myself to virtual loot for no reason. Getting purple pants.
I wish I had time to play.
Yeah.
I don't even want to play World of Warcraft, but if I just had the luxury to play, I've been too much of a grown up, right? Like I need to scale back a little bit. I'm going through another quarter life crisis. I went through one at like 23. Now I'm gonna go through another one at 28. I think I'm gonna have to dust off the Xbox. That's what I'm trying to say.
I thought I was going to go in a different, much darker. Like, I think I'm going to have to leave Sarah. I think I need to just go to my parents' basement and start playing World of Warcraft again. I think it'll be good for me.
Eric would have been like, yeah, you can give her my number. I'll comfort her when she gets depressed.
Yeah, I don't know if that's really that probably would make things a lot worse.
Yeah, for everyone involved.
For everyone, even the show.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't have anywhere to do it from. I'd have to do it from my tablet. I'd just be like, all my computer and gear I have, like, in my 1979 car.
Yeah, you can do it from your phone or your tablet. You can just hold it and stuff. Use your parents' Wi-Fi.
Well, I mean, one of our D&D players, she plays from her tablet.
Yeah.
It's terrible, and I don't think it works really well, but she plays.
Is that the person I would replace?
No, you're not replacing. You would add to.
No, I want to replace somebody. I want my guy's name to be Landfill.
Is that like Lando? His cousin, his long-lost cousin?
Maybe. Or maybe it's a reference to a movie about beer.
About a festival of beer?
Yes.
Speaking of festivals, I think it's time we end this festivities of this horseshit and start plugging each other.
Horseshit festivities? My favorite.
Yeah. My plug for this week is Batgirl, issue 35. It's really fucking good. They got a whole new team of writers and artists. They made Batgirl look really interesting. She's now dressed like an appropriate human being. That the art style is really cool. The storyline's a lot less grim, dark violence and more like upbeat girl in college. It's actually really I really dug it. So I think I like the new direction they're taking Batgirl. So
wait, is she's more clad or less clad with clothing?
Well, in her Batgirl outfit, she's not wearing spandex. She's got a leather jacket, which is interesting. But there is stuff where she's not wearing pants in the comic. But yeah, I mean it's just more reasonable, and I think it's really interesting. I like it a lot. So I think if you're interested in superhero comics, maybe check out Batgirl 35. See if it's for you.
Sweaty Batman. Check them out. My plug for this week is I don't feel like plugging anything this week. I'm gonna pull an Ike.
This week I want to plug Classcraft. If you are a teacher or you have a teacher that you think this would work well with, because it will work with any class, check out Classcraft. There we go. Classcraft.com. It allows you to turn your classroom into a gamification of a classroom.
I thought it allows you to turn your classroom into gold farmers in World of Warcraft.
So I already had one of my classes, all of my students make characters today, and we're gonna start class crafting next week.
I'm gonna class craft right now. What class should I play, Ike?
Well, you have to have somebody who sets up the account to play, and really you have to be in a classroom setting to play, because
do you
gain
need
experience. You gain
a healer or a tank or what?
Well, the three classes are warrior, mage, and healer.
So, are you like heavy on healers right now? I want to join your classrooms, Classcraft. And I want to be summoned like the White Ranger and Power Rangers. Like I wanted to be like, oh, this question's really hard, and then you'd be like, and and then like I come in and they're like, Joe, we need to answer this question. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. Attack him.
In the form of Megazord, even though it's
Everyone, throw me your weapons. I'm gonna use them all at the same time. Yeah. Anyway, what were you saying?
No, hopefully it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to trying it out and see where it goes.
It does look cool. It looks like it's on mobile apps and stuff too.
Yeah, once you get it set up, you can hop on your iDevice or Android and use it from there. So your like my class divided into 2 groups, and they can earn XP and they can help fight, save each other. And if a kid gets in trouble, he loses health points, but the priests can heal the health points back. Or if somebody's causing trouble, the warrior can rush in and take the damage instead. But if
somebody answers something wrong, do they die? Is that like rolling a 0?
No, you literally can slap the child in the face. It's intense.
It's like, let me check the bylaws. You like turn 2 pages and then you're like, wham!
It's the Elon line of classroom gaming.
Everybody has to sit there in a coal mine, just clink, clink, clink.
So I think it'll be fun. It'll work out. And my kids have been divided into 2 groups, and then they fight against each other in these random encounters that you can have during class. So yeah, see how it goes.
That sounds fun.
Cool. Well, that's our show for this week, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. You can follow me on Twitter at Duncor, DUNCOR.
You can follow me on Twitter at Duncor, DUNCOR.
You can also follow me on Twitter at Duncor, DUNCOR.
Awesome. You can also check out the website, justcoolenough.com, or email us at the show at justcoolenough.com, and maybe get your email read out on air. So if you have some questions you want to ask us, you can do that. It's a great way to communicate with us and all that jazz. But anyways, until next week, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we will see you all next week. Have a wonderful weekend, and fuck off.
Oh, man, that was smooth, Eric. There wasn't even a little spot for me to kind of